Few people realize that Michigan, the Wolverine state, has essentially no wolverines. Beneath the streets of Detroit lies a salt mine older than the dinosaurs. And in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, a single organism is about 2,500 years old, weighs more than 3 blue whales, and spreads across an area roughly the size of the Pentagon. These sound fake, but every single one of them is true. Michigan is one of those states people think they know. Cars, gold, lakes, maybe Motown. But beneath the surface, this state is hiding some of the strangest and most unbelievable stories in American history. Today, you'll discover 22 surprising facts that will completely change how you see the Great Lakes state. And near the end, we'll uncover how Detroit went from producing 1 bomber per hour during World War II to filing the largest municipal bankruptcy in American history. And what happened next might be the most remarkable comeback story in any American city. Let's get into it. Fact 22. You are never more than 6 miles from water. Michigan has more than 11,000 named inland lakes and over 60,000 bodies of water counting smaller ponds. No point in the state is more than 85 miles from a Great Lake, and every resident lives within 6 miles of a natural water source. The Upper Peninsula alone is larger than Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Delaware combined. And Detroit is farther from Houghton, Michigan, at 425 air miles, than from Washington, D.C., at roughly 395. Fact 21. You drive south from Detroit to enter Canada. Detroit is the only major U.S. city where you travel due south to cross into Canada. A bend in the Detroit River puts downtown Detroit directly north of Windsor, Ontario. Michigan is also one of the only states where you can head in every cardinal direction and eventually reach Canadian soil. Fact 20. The Wolverine state has essentially no wolverines. No wolverine has ever been verified as trapped within Michigan's borders. While wolverine bones have turned up at a few archaeological sites, experts are unsure whether those animals were native or traded from elsewhere. The first confirmed wild sighting in roughly 200 years came in February 2004 near Ubley. A lone female later found dead in 2010. One popular theory traces the nickname to the Toledo War of 1835, when Ohioans used wolverines as an insult. Other theories point to the fur trade. Michigan kept the name, Ohio kept Toledo. Fact 19. Michigan's sand dunes are visible from space, and some of them sing. Michigan is home to the largest freshwater dune system on Earth. Sleeping Bear Dunes rises 450 feet above Lake Michigan and was voted Most Beautiful Place in America by Good Morning America in 2011. But at Beck-Grace Beach on the Keweenaw Peninsula, the sand literally sings, producing an eerie hum caused by uniformly spherical quartz grains vibrating against each other. Move that sand somewhere else, and it falls completely silent. Fact 18. Superman ice cream is older than the superhero. Superman ice cream, that wild, tricolor swirl of red, blue, and yellow, was reportedly created during Prohibition by Detroit's Stroh's Brewery, which pivoted to making ice cream when alcohol was banned. Superman the superhero didn't appear until Action Comics debuted in 1938. The ice cream came first. The mysterious Blue Moon flavor's recipe remains a closely guarded secret, and you'll find Superman ice cream almost exclusively in Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Fact 17. Faygo soda was born from Russian cake frosting recipes. Faygo was founded in 1907 by Russian Jewish immigrant brothers Ben and Perry Fagenson, bakers by trade. Their original fruit punch, strawberry, and grape flavors came directly from cake frosting recipes. The Insane Clown Posse connection started when Violent J deliberately threw a bottle of Faygo at hecklers, but the crowd's enthusiastic reaction was the part nobody expected. ICP now sprays 300 to 400 2-liter bottles per show, yet Faygo has never officially collaborated with them. Fact 16. Michigan has towns named Hell, Paradise, Climax, and Colon. You can literally drive from Paradise to Hell in Michigan. Zilwaukee was deliberately named to sound like Milwaukee by 2 New York brothers in 1848, though whether this was truly to trick settlers remains local legend. Germfast is an acronym of the first letters of its 8 original settlers' surnames. And Bad Axe was named when surveyors found a damaged axe at a campsite in 1861. The original axe head is still believed to be on display at the Bad Axe Area District Library. Fact 15. It is illegal to buy a car on Sunday in Michigan. Under Michigan Public Act 66 of 1953, it is illegal to buy, sell, or negotiate the price of a motor vehicle on Sunday in counties over 130,000 people. This isn't a dead-letter law. Dealerships remain closed. Other laws still on the books: adultery is a felony, seducing an unmarried woman carries up to 5 years, and it's illegal to be drunk on a train. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this deep dive, go ahead and subscribe. We've got a lot more wild facts coming from across the country. Fact 14. The oldest surviving soda in America was born in Detroit. Verner's Ginger Ale, traditionally dated to 1866, was created by Detroit pharmacist James Verner. If that date holds, it predates Dr. Pepper by 19 years, Coca-Cola by 20, and Pepsi by 27. Legend holds Verner left the tonic in an oak barrel before the Civil War, though his own son later admitted the barrel story is likely romanticized. Aretha Franklin reportedly used Verner's to glaze her holiday ham. And the Boston Cooler, Verner's mixed with vanilla ice cream, has nothing to do with Boston. It was a soda shop term that Verner's trademarked in 1967. Fact 13. Colon, Michigan is the magic capital of the world. In the 1920s, legendary magician Harry Blackstone Sr. bought a farm in Colon, population 1,200. Australian magician Percy Abbott later founded Abbott's Magic Company there in 1934, becoming the world's largest magic manufacturer. The village has 4 magic theaters and hosts the annual Abbott's Magic Get-Together, running since 1934. Famous magicians who never lived in Colon have requested burial plots in Lakeside Cemetery alongside the Blackstones. Fact 12. Breakfast cereal was invented by accident at a health spa. In 1894, the Kellogg brothers left cooked wheat sitting out at the Battle Creek Sanitarium, a Seventh-day Adventist health resort. When rolled, it came out as flakes. WK founded the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company on February 19, 1906. By 1909, they produced 120,000 cases per day, and more than 80 cereal companies operated in Battle Creek at the peak. In September 2025, Ferrero finalized its $3.1 billion acquisition of WK Kellogg Company. I remember reading about the Kellogg brothers' feud as a kid and thinking it was made up. Fact 11. Michigan grows 75% of America's tart cherries. Michigan regularly produces around 70 to 80% of America's tart cherries, well over 150 million pounds in a typical year. The state ranks number 1 nationally in 15 separate agricultural commodities, and is second only to California in overall agricultural diversity. The first cherry trees were planted in 1852 by Presbyterian missionary Reverend Peter Doherty. Fact 10. Grand Rapids was the first city on Earth to fluoridate its water. On January 25, 1945, Grand Rapids intentionally added fluoride to its public water supply, the first city in the world to do so. The study tracked nearly 30,000 school children. After 11 years, tooth decay dropped to more than 60%. The CDC later named water fluoridation one of the 10 great public health advancements of the 20th century. Fact 9. The Soo Locks were once the busiest shipping corridor on Earth. At Sault Ste. Marie, the third oldest European settlement west of the Appalachians, co-founded in 1668 by fathers Jacques Marquette and Claude Dablon, the Soo Locks once handled more tonnage than the Panama and Suez Canals combined. Today, they still move around 80 million tons annually. Without them, the iron ore and grain that built industrial America wouldn't have moved. Fact 8. Detroit invented the infrastructure of driving itself. Woodward Avenue became the first paved concrete road in 1909. Officer William Potts invented the first 3-color traffic light in 1920. Packard built the first air-conditioned car in 1939. The Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, completed in 1930, was the first international vehicular tunnel. Detroit was the first city to assign telephone numbers in 1879. The Detroit Zoo pioneered the first cageless exhibits in 1928. And Ford's assembly line cut car production from 12 hours to 93 minutes. Detroit didn't just build the car, it built the world around the car. Fact 7. The Great Lakes produce freshwater tsunamis. The Great Lakes generate over 100 meteotsunamis per year. On June 26, 1954, an 8 to 10 foot meteotsunami struck Chicago's lakefront and killed at least 7 people. Great Lakes waves hit every 3 to 5 seconds versus 10 to 12 in the ocean, giving swimmers almost no time to recover. Rogue waves remain one of the several theories for the sinking of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald in 1975. Fact 6. Ancient alien-looking ecosystems exist at the bottom of Lake Huron. In 2001, scientists discovered submerged sinkholes on 400-million-year-old limestone in the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Middle Island Sinkhole, 75 feet down, hosts purple cyanobacterial mats resembling life on Earth 2.5 billion years ago. Some microbes carry genetic markers previously found only off the coast of Africa, while others match organisms from Antarctica. In 2022, roughly 40 additional sinkholes were discovered on Lake Michigan's floor, about 500 feet down. Fact 5. A 2,500-year-old fungus the size of the Pentagon lives in the Upper Peninsula. Near Crystal Falls, a single honey mushroom, Armillaria gallica, covers approximately 90 acres, weighs around 440 tons, and is roughly 2,500 years old. That's a single organism weighing about as much as 3 blue whales. Crystal Falls celebrates it with an annual humongous fungus fest, featuring a 10 by 10 foot mushroom pizza and a mushroom costume contest. Fact 4. An entire town was buried alive by sand dunes. Singapore, Michigan was founded in 1836 near present-day Saugatuck with around 24 buildings, 3 mills, and up to 300 residents. After the lumber industry stripped the forests bare, the dunes moved in. Many buildings were relocated to Saugatuck, but what remained was gradually consumed. The site remains buried to this day. A friend of mine visited Saugatuck and said the locals still point toward the dunes and tell you there's a whole town under there. A town that vanished not because of a war, but because the land itself took it back. Fact 3. A salt mine sits beneath Detroit. 1,100 to 1,200 feet beneath Detroit, Dearborn, and Melvindale sits a 1,500-acre salt mine with roughly 50 miles of underground roads. The salt deposits are approximately 400 million years old. Discovered in 1895, opened in 1910, closed in 1983, and reopened in 1998, it produces road dicing salt. Most Detroiters live their entire lives directly above it without knowing it's there. Fact 2. Michigan was the arsenal of democracy. During World War II, Detroit produced at least 10% of all U.S. war materials with only 2% of the nation's population. Ford's Willow Run plant built one B-24 bomber every hour by 1944, more than 8,600 total. Chrysler's Warren plant produced over 22,000 tanks, roughly a quarter of all American tanks. 91% of all Army helmets were stamped in Detroit. Roosevelt popularized the phrase "arsenal of democracy" in his December 1940 fireside chat. Today, approximately 60% of U.S. Army ground combat systems are managed through Michigan's TACOM facility in Warren. Fact 1. Motown's anonymous house band had more #1 hits than the Beatles, Elvis, the Stones, and the Beach Boys combined. In the basement studio at 2648 West Grand Boulevard in Detroit, a cramped room nicknamed the Snake Pit, the Funk Brothers quietly recorded the soundtrack of a generation. From 1959 to 1972, they played on more #1 hits than the Beatles, Elvis, the Rolling Stones, and the Beach Boys combined, receiving zero public credit until Marvin Gaye listed their names on What's Going On in 1971. Berry Gordy founded Motown with an $800 family loan, about $8,900 today, working on the Lincoln Mercury assembly line. Every recording was tested through a tiny radio box to mimic car radio sound, because Gordy understood that Detroit drove everywhere. My wife showed me a clip of the Funk Brothers performing, and none of them looked like rock stars. They looked like your neighbors, and they played on more hits than just about anyone in history. That basement studio, that $800 loan, that anonymous band, they changed the sound of American music forever, and it all happened in Michigan. The wild thing about Michigan is not just how much happened there, it is how much of it stays hidden in plain sight. beneath cities, beneath dunes, beneath lake water, and beneath the version of the state most people carry around in their heads. If you enjoyed exploring that hidden side with us, subscribe and like the video. And for more stories like this, browse the rest of the channel.